Thanks, you guys, for coming out. Hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving in a couple of days here. We're excited to be on a homestand. It was good to get back and play in front of our fans. And I thought, the team took a really tough loss the other night and came back with a concerted effort just to be better. It's the only thing we can do, right, is continue to improve. And what I love about this group is we have so much exciting room for improvement, and I thought we saw some of it tonight. Really great performances. I thought, in particular, I thought the energy of the group was good, but Jazzy and Viv together, both I thought, led us in that area. Terrific energy, and back to work tomorrow. But it was a good result tonight.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Is this on?
It is.
Oh, okay. I love when I can hear myself. Quick question. Last two games, the shooting has improved dramatically on the two-pointer and three-point line.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody to answer, how you guys feeling about your shooting now? 2 games in a row, 50% from 2 and 40% over 3. I think that's what you expected, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do think we have a good shooting team with a lot of capable shooters. I think a couple things are happening, right? I don't know how many coaches would say this, but, there's a term, right, regression to the mean. So our shooters that have missed, Kara, Jazzy, London at times, to me, it's just going to even out, and good shooters are ultimately going to make shots. But I also would say it's more than that. They're putting work in, right? They're really putting a ton of work in. And I think, the spots are normalizing for us. We're new together. We're trying to get them more comfortable and into their spots in a manner that's going to be conducive to knocking down shots. So it's great. We need to make shots to win. There's other ways you can win as well. But yes, we expect it. We expect this to be a team that shoots a high percentage if we're taking the right shots and we're in rhythm.
Hi, Coach. Charlotte Moore, FI 360. Saw that you moved Jazzy to the point a few times and had a bigger lineup. Can you talk about that lineup? And also this win after rebounding from a tough loss, how does this feel playing with getting this win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we're still tinkering with a lot of different lineups, but obviously we know that Jazzy's capable of impacting the game in so many different ways. And in our sort of flow and transition offense, really anyone can handle it. But when we run sets, I think, she has unique abilities in her vision and can get the ball where it needs to go. And I also thought it was able to put London in a spot where she could get, she's such a dynamic scorer where it could get her to some, spots where she could make buckets, right? We also do want to make sure that we're trying really big lineups where things are switchable, and we can do some different things. So yeah, it's been fun to just continue to progress, and we know that that's going to be kind of our calling card going forward. That if we improve more than other people over the course of time, that's going to be a good thing for us. Felt great to get in here. It was a really tough loss the other night. No doubt about that for all of us. But the only thing you can do is utilize those lessons that are painful to get better. And I don't think it's as easy to do that when you're, in celebration mode. So we wouldn't have chosen that outcome, but we did choose our response. And I think that we've done, a really good job of just focusing on getting better going forward.
Jazzy, you did a little bit of everything tonight, scoring, rebounding, a couple of, especially on the rebounding end. But I'm wondering, too, you had your second fewest turnovers tonight. Was that a particular point of emphasis after the Notre Dame game? Kind of what did you do there, to get that lower while you were doing everything else?
Excuse me. Not necessarily. Obviously I want to cut down on my turnovers, but I think just also playing at my own pace, not letting the defense speed me up is a huge emphasis for me just as I'm getting more experience under my belt at this level. So that was definitely a point of emphasis.
Lindsay, you guys had 15 blocks tonight. I think that's the most I could tell in the last 25 years for any game. Have you ever been a part of a game where your interior defense was that dominant block-wise? And what's impressed you about that aspect of the defense?
Yeah, Gia gave me a note that it was the second most in program history since 1984.
That's what I saw.
So yeah, you're right. Didn't we lead the nation in blocks a year or two ago? We've had obviously Ray is a shot blocker, Juju's a shot blocker, Kiki, Clarice, right? So we've had interior defense. I think that what was impressive about this is our length that we can put in a number of different places. Laura had a couple, Kai had a couple. They're front court players, but you also have Jazzy and Ken and, everyone kind of getting in the mix. D is really long, so that the length is a really good thing. So I thought that was impressive. Obviously, we want to cut down on the offensive rebounds, so maybe there were a couple possessions where they got a couple shots up where we would have been happy to, halt it at one. But I think, we try to use our length, and we've been working on help side defense and coming over, and I think we have, a lot of players who when they're playing vertical, are really lengthy.
One question for Jazzy and then one for Vivian. Jazzy, what have you learned from London so far this season? Someone who's obviously gone to the tournament a few times across town. And then for Vivian, what have you learned from Coach Burns defensively? I saw some defensive effort in the first quarter where Coach Burns was getting excited from what you were doing.
Really just kind of like Coach said, she's such a dynamic scorer, and she's always at her own pace. She doesn't let the defense speed her up. So that's something that I've learned from her. She gets to her spots really well.
Yeah, and Coach B's that's our defensive coach. She's really good at what she does. She has so much experience in the game, and so every time she tells me things to do on defense, I feel like I go out there and I really try to emphasize and do what I need to do. But yeah.
I will shout out Viv too, not just because it's her first time in media, but she's always the first to ask for film. Coach B will, we all watch film with them, but the defensive stuff, and sometimes it's not always that fun to watch every defensive clip, but Viv really seeks out the feedback and has been in the gym a ton and has been very hungry to get better, and the progress is showing. I think everyone thinks college is supposed to be, you come in, your freshman year and everything's perfect right away, but a lot of it is the growth and the learning and continuing to get better, and I think we're all trying to do that, but I think, Viv's a great example of just continuing to progress and watch the film and put the work in, and that's when things improve.
Congrats on the win. I got a question for V. Can you talk about, you were 5 for 6 tonight, talk about your efforts tonight and also embracing your role and also just being a sponge, as Coach just mentioned?
Yeah, last year, there was such amazing talent in the front court, Kiki Rhea, Clarice, and it was just such a good opportunity for me to be able to learn from them, and I think this year I'm really taking what I learned from them and then just being in the gym a lot with Rex and Coach B and all the coaches, coaching staff, just helping me with my skill set and just trying to do what my coach needs me to do, doing what Coach Lindsay needs me to do, running, rebounding, setting really good screens, and then just letting the offense kind of come to me.
This is for Jazzy and Bill. You guys started off 22-8 in the first quarter. Talk about the defense and how starting the game with such intensity, how they just set the tone for the rest of the team tonight.
Yeah, I think there was an emphasis for us on just being the hardest working team tonight. So I think our defense really showed that, and it led to our offense. We were getting good things in transition, making the right pass.
Yeah, Coach Lindsay talked about how it should be it should only be physical things. Okay, she's taller than you. Okay, she has longer legs than you, but it should never be oh, she's working harder. They're working harder than us. So I think our point of emphasis was just going out there and working as hard as we could. And we were hungry to, do what we did tonight. So, yeah.
Do one more.
Jazzy, you had 16 rebounds tonight. Is that a number you've exceeded or reached many times before? And Lindsay, what makes Jazzy such a good rebounder that you've seen so far?
I don't think so. I think this is my rebounding high, so
yeah,
that's fun.
I just think amongst, her many skills, I think just her effort is really exceptional on both sides of the ball. We've talked about that. She's a really good mistake response. No one wants to make mistakes, but her just effort is all over the place. And I think that just she has a will to go get that thing. Then her length, she can really, we obviously want everyone to box out and we want to be clean, but sometimes it's a matter of just go get that ball. And I think, she was really willing to mix it up tonight, use her length, get the rebound and start our break. So it was really effective. It was fun to see.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you all. See you on Friday.